3 entities, yes.
I think the main ingredient in our future has to be looking at a more viable, good, strong commercial tax base. And there are a number of ways of, is that answering your?
I didn't get to finish my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
It was really that coupled with, you know, there are very few businesses in the county. A lot of people have to go outside the county to secure services or goods, and they'd like to see those type of businesses located here so they could spend their money locally.
I think that's become a kind of a common ground issue for most people in the county, Mary. As we saw in that very painful budget hearing process, we've lost so much of our business tax base that the reliance is greater and greater on property tax increases. We can't continue to raise property taxes. We need to work very, very hard collaboratively to do a better job of economic development in the county. I happen to think that we've got a gold mine here with our own cultural heritage, ecotourism, agritourism, heritage tourism. We've briefly tapped into that. I'm involved as president of Kent Island Heritage Society, and we try through our tourism office to get folks to come in and visit local businesses while we're here. It's a tough sell because we just don't have a good outreach effort for that. I think tourism is a big part of it. I think the new healthcare facility, the emergency room, is going to do a great deal to help bring more good jobs into the county. And as we build our medical center complex near the emergency room, as well as the new complex that's already there by Kent Island Fire Department, we open up, I think, tremendous opportunities there. I think, too, had a conversation the other night with an individual involved in government contract firms, locating them around the state. I think we need to reach out to government contract firms that are doing work in the Fort Meade area as part of the BRAC and see if we can bring some of those good, clean government contract operations into Queen Anne's County.
Thank you. And thank you for finishing your question. Next question. Sir.
A little bit about the aspect of bringing in economic development. I've been here for 18 years, and I'll tell you truthfully, the economic development in this county is terrible. It's been that way all the way through the time period that I've been here. We've gone ahead and we've tried to do certain things. Mr. Jackson, you started to go ahead and talk about what you would do. Mr. Prozac, you talked about what you had gone ahead and done initially. That's all well and good, unless you get proactive, unless you get a good economic development office, unless you get the proper people in here at the right place. You're not going to get anywhere in economic development. And without economic development, folks, the taxes are going to continue to go up.
And your question to whom?
To Mr. Jackson and Mr. Prozac. Tell me specifically how you're really going to straighten this thing out, because it's a mess. You can't go to China and do the things and say, gee, I'm going to take a trip to China. Okay. You're not going to get it out of the Chinese.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colonel, I absolutely understand what your question is and the underlying thoughts you have, because I've had the very same thoughts, and I haven't lived here 18 years. I've looked at what has been done, and I'm unable to see that it's been very successful. You know, when you're in the outside looking in this situation, you don't know what all the issues are and what you're going to encounter. We have an economic development office. They may have some really wonderful people there. They may not be being properly led. They may not be properly managed. I don't know. But I will tell you this. When I get into the office, I am going to try to lead the effort so that we get good people, good strategies, good infrastructure, and serious commitment to bringing in businesses. We look at, Win Prozac is an example. Here is a clean business that was brought here, and it was brought here because the executives of the company looked and saw, A, there are people available, and B, it's a great lifestyle for us here. We've got that. We can offer that. We need to communicate that. It's obviously not happening. Under my watch, it will happen.
We'll go to Mr. Prozac and then Ms. Taylor.
I have to tell you, I am so tired of the term no growthers. I may be labeled the biggest no-growther because I helped stop 4 seasons. I may be labeled as the person to help bring in the most jobs into Queen Anne's County. The problem is we've got 3 economic development and business associations in this county that have a narrow vision. We have Business Queen Anne's, we have the Chamber of Commerce, and Queen Anne's County Economic Development. And that focus is on residential real estate, okay? We need great and powerful economic engines to make this county fiscally secure. We need to bring in $100 million companies. You know, we should be contacting where the commissioners are part of the economic development, contacting these companies, inviting these companies, not just a county employee. And I think that we need in some very powerful business people, headhunters, bring these businesses to the county. And the businesses should focus on going into business parks, not continuously keep building places so we have shopping centers and the like, so we look like we have urban renewal. We need urban renewal. As drive down Route 50, we have 5 states of traffic driving down Route 50. Plenty of business people. What's the message that we're sending? Oh, we look, like we're in an economic depression because there's 5 shopping centers in complexes on each side of 50. Those shopping centers need to be filled and renovated before we start building all these other new ones. You know, it is gotten to the point where we need renovation. And we need to focus on bringing 10 companies in around the $10 million range up to $100 million range. And if you focused on 50 of them, okay, and highly targeted manual labor base, if you only got 4 of them, it would dramatically increase taking care of our kids that are graduating from schools.
Ms. Taylor.
I almost want to pass, but I just want to add again, seem like we're repeating ourselves. Smart growth, again, use what we have, utilize the buildings that we have. Do we build bigger things if it's a need? But take care of our children, take care of our surroundings and what we already have. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for about one more question. Yes, sir.
Earl Chambers, Kent Island. What was the spark that created Paul Reed Smith to leave West Street and come over to the...
We were on Virginia Avenue, and I have to tell you, growing up as a kid, I heard all the stories from my grandparents, aunts, uncles, parents about the liners coming up to Love Point Hotel and the beautiful stories. And so the beauty of Kent Island was instilled in me as a kid, and still is. I get to live the fantasy. I get to live on Kent Island. I work on Kent Island. The opportunity came up for Paul Reed Smith Guitars to expand. I was given the job to look at every business park within the region and make a decision as to where the company was going to go, or at least show them where the best possibilities were. And there were, you know, I can't take all the credit. There were 3 or 4 of us that loved Queen Anne's County and the water and the Eastern Shore. And we convinced Paul. When I came over here, I found the Nolan building while it was off the market, and we really wanted to move the business over here. And I was lucky enough to get a great deal on the Nolan building. We negotiated a great deal, and we were able to convince Paul to come on over and bring the business here, and we were very, very grateful for that. And so I can go home at lunchtime, 2 minutes from work. All of my daughter's schools are 2 minutes away. I can take school money to my kid so I'm very, very blessed. I can walk to the boat at the marina. It's just a wonderful life, and we all need to take a part of that.
Ms. Taylor, that was specific to Mr. Prozac. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you.
Okay. We have time for one more question.
I've been president of the county for about 50 years. For a lot of good questions, comments, things, reference, knowledge building, the bunch of county commissioners with health issues. One thing kind of near and dear to my heart is sick and really